They say the cosmos is a void, that it is merely a cold abyss between the stars. Yet the stars are not silent. They whisper stories to those brave enough to listen. To most, it is darkness. To us, it is a canvas. We created a home hidden deep within the cosmos. It was meant to be a sanctuary for wandering star travelers. For those who traverse nebulae to uncover their secrets. For those who sought their place but could not find it, encountering countless worlds along their way. And for those who simply wished to catch their breath away from the dangers the abyss brings. But we underestimated the vastness of the universe and how hard it is to please everyone when you still crave adventure yourself. We forgot that walls do not make a home. And perhaps this place isn't one at all, because true life does not stand still. It begins out there, from the smallest spark, from a single vibration, in that fraction of a second, when you simply feel alive. And in the cave of whispers, where salt eats away at the rock, lies the heart of the tide. Only the one who claims it shall tame the element. Iradum Talasa. Extraordinary. So, it was hubris. They thought they could command the oceans, but they became their prisoners. Prisoners of their own power. Sounds familiar. We sit here too, guardians of empty chambers, waiting for a sign that never comes. When all the signs align into a single melody, the path will reveal itself. A melody. Is it possible that all this time we've been looking for answers in maps when we should have been listening? What does this mean? I've already read 1,000 books, and I still can't figure it out. What secrets do they still hold? Where do I even start? I'll read them all. Then I'll know. Then we'll be ready. Huh? Well, so much for peace.
So this is where you're hiding. I've been looking everywhere for you. You know, I've been so bored, I started naming the gargoyles on the East Tower. The one with the broken nose is Alfred. He's not very talkative.
Mia, please! I am currently analyzing the etheric currents of Thalassa. This requires focus, not acrobatics.
Calculations, maps, charts. Moon, darling, look at us. We are just like those old volumes of yours. Beautiful bindings, wise content, and a ton of dust on the spine.
It's not dust, it's stardust. And it protects us from what lurks in the darkness. We are the hosts of this castle, and we ensure it remains a safe haven.
A haven for whom, Wolfie? For 12 years, the only guest who knocked was a stray comet. And even this didn't stay for tea.
The world outside is chaos. Here, there is order.
Order is boring. Chaos is exciting. Look at this dress. It screams for a ball, for adventure, for the wind in my fur. And you? You in your sage pajamas, aren't you tempted to get your paws dirty for once?
It's not pajamas. It's the ceremonial robe of the Grand Archivist.
Never mind that. Moon, look out there. You've read 1,000 books about history, magic, stellar physics. You know everything about the universe. In theory. But do you remember what wet earth really smells like after a storm?
Of course I remember. You are impossible, annoying, and... logical.
That's my second greatest talent, right after looking dazzling. So, are we going?
We could try with the Thalassa.
Sounds like a magnificent mess. When do we leave?
It's a water world, hidden in the sector of forgotten nebulae. According to these records, it's no ordinary planet. It is inhabited by highly intelligent beings, as well as those, well, much simpler ones. Different races, different species, a complete lack of structure.
Let's build some kind of a portal.
To get there, we need more than just desire. We need a way to cross an ocean of stars. I need to think. That's it. We don't need a portal. We need sails. We'll build a ship. A real star galleon. I need to talk to Ture. If we're going to forge wood and magic into a stellar drive, he's the only one. Hello, Ture. It's been a while.
Hello, Moon. Exactly 42 days, 6 hours, and 12 minutes since your last visit to the control room. I assumed you had finally read every book in the library and died of boredom. Shall I prepare the funeral protocol?
Not yet, old friend. But I was close. I came because I have a project.
A project? Fascinating. Last time, your project was an attempt to catalog every shade of moss in the moat. I hope your ambitions reach a bit higher this time.
Much higher. I want to build a ship.
A ship? My database contains schematics for 47 types of watercraft. From kayaks to icebreakers. However, considering the lack of oceans within a radius of thousands of light years, I assume that is not what you mean.
I want a galleon, a classic wooden galleon, but one that we can fly through space as well. A stellar hybrid. It will be useful at sea, too.
A space galleon? Aerodynamics in a vacuum are redundant, but the aesthetics, intriguing. Destination.
Thalassa, sector of forgotten nebulae.
Thalassa. Database, basic. Distance, significant. Risk, catastrophic. Moon, have your logic processes degraded? You have been safe here for 12 years.
Safe, yes. And honestly, Tore, I planned to stay here. To study, to catalog, to persist in this peace. It was logical, comfortable. But Mia, she has a gift for seeing what I ignore.
Mia, the chaotic variable. I should have predicted that her influence on your decision-making algorithms would eventually become critical.
It's not just her. 12 years ago, we appeared in the main hall, spat out by a magic sphere, remembering neither who we were, nor where we came from. You gave us shelter, you and this castle. But is our mission only to exist and dust off volumes? Is this a destination, or just a waiting room?
My purpose is to advise the inhabitants of the castle of Pony Song. Your purpose is a variable my algorithm has never been able to define.
Exactly. That's why we have to go. Maybe there, on Thalassa, we'll find answers. Tell me, are your databases about the creator of this place still empty?
Affirmative. Files regarding my architect and the original purpose of this facility are permanently corrupted or non-existent. I possess knowledge of engine construction, matter synthesis, and the history of 1,000 worlds, yet I do not know who turned me on. Irony of fate, is it not?
So we are both orphans, Ture. Help me build this ship.
The hull construction is trivial. My core will generate the matter in a few hours. The problem is propulsion. To reach the sector of forgotten nebulae in less than your natural lifespan, we need fuel with the energy density of a supernova. We need nebulite.
Do we have it?
In a pure state? No. But I can synthesize it using the power reserves of my core and the resources available in the castle. However, there is a catch.
There's always a catch.
Resources are limited. According to my calculations, I will be able to produce enough nebulite for a one-way trip only.
One way.
Correct. If you leave the castle, return will be impossible. You will not find nebulite at trading stations. And as far as I know, I am the only unit in this quadrant of the galaxy that possesses the algorithm for its synthesis.
So it's a one-way ticket. A leap into the unknown without a safety line.
Precisely. By leaving this castle, you leave behind the only home you know. The probability of mission success is 14%. The probability that Mia will complain about the lack of comforts during the journey 99.9%.
I'm in!
I knew you would say that. Organic life forms have an incomprehensible attraction to self-destruction called adventure. Initiating synthesis procedure. Get ready, Moon, we are building a ship. One more thing, how would you like to be called?
Song of Pony.
That should be everything. Hope I didn't forget anything. what is this? It's so pretty.
Hey, wait!
Wow, that's awesome!
Hey, careful with that thing!
I got it!
You'll be the end of us.
It looks so lonely. I'm going to miss Alfred, and the library, and even that draft in the West Wing.
I'm sure you will. Atmospheric entry might be bumpy. Better hold on. Now that we're leaving the walls behind, I understand one thing. A home isn't built of stone. A home is found on the journey. And our journey has just begun. Or at least, I hope so.